What's going on, everybody? My name is Guy. This is Guy Talk Sports. Appreciate you clicking on the link there on the thumbnail. In today's video, I'm going to give an update on Tennessee baseball as they recently played their series with Florida. Going to go over that, as well as going to hit the game they played last week against Lipscomb. Also, recent top 25 poll drop for college baseball, and we have a new number one. We'll go over the top five. Before we get into that, though, if you don't mind, look under this screen here. There is a subscribe button. Go ahead, smash that for me. Helps me grow this channel. I really appreciate it. Let's take a look at this. So, before we dive into the series at Florida, Tennessee played Lipscomb last Tuesday. Kind of fell flat. Lipscomb came out swinging. Tennessee ends up with a rare home loss, losing 6-9. And it was kind of a surprise to everybody. I don't know if they were just looking ahead to the Florida series or what, but Lipscomb, they had hot bats that whole night, ended up scoring 9 runs. So not the best. But let's dive on into the series at Florida now. Game 1 was supposed to be played last Thursday night that is. Instead gets postponed, and you get this doubleheader situation that was played on Friday. So in Game 1, pitching was pretty decent from both teams. Tennessee, started strong, went up 4-2 after 3 innings, and then things really kind of stalled out as pitching kind of picked up and really controlled the middle innings. Didn't have anybody doing much. Tennessee tacked on an insurance run in the top of the 8th. Another one in the top of the 9th, closed out the game, winning it 6-2. Oddly enough, for a team that hits seems like nothing but home runs, actually didn't have a home run in this one. So, a lot of extra base hits and won it 6-2. So, before we get into Game 2, I do want to give a quick shout out to our catcher, Cal Stark, who picked off another runner that was sleeping on first base. He has been doing this all year. And honestly, if you're getting thrown out by him at first, that's your fault for not watching tape, because he does it. He's been doing it all year, and it's been fun to kind of keep track of. Anyway, pitching really good for both sides in Game 2 as well. But Florida's pitchers were especially dominant. I thought the umpire was calling a good bit of the outside part of the zone in Game 2, but I thought it was pretty consistent on both sides all night. And so our players, they had a tough time adjusting to that, and you had quite a few no-look strikeouts. And honestly, based on their pitching in Games 1 and 2, and for most of Game 3, I'm kind of surprised Florida doesn't have more wins. I'm surprised their record is what it is. I don't think their pitching has been like this all year, but it was pretty impressive to watch, especially, like I was saying, you had stretches in Game 1 where they were shut down. And then, especially for most of Game 2, they were really good. And Tennessee overall struck out 16 times. 16 times in Game 2. It's a lot. And it's more than 5 innings worth of strikeouts. So, Florida, they had it rolling with their pitching. We'll talk about Game 3 here in a minute. But with all that being said, though, it was actually a pretty close game at the end of it. Florida had a big 3-run inning in the 3rd. Tennessee slowly battled back, and they scored in the top of the 5th to make it 3-1. They would grab another run in the top of the 8th, but Florida answered back with another in the bottom of that inning, and so it was 4-2 to start the top of the 9th. Tennessee scores 1, makes it 4-3. Everybody's sweating, and ended up getting runners on first and second with 2 outs, but the batter ends up popping up, gets out. Game over, final score being 4-3, Florida. So this that was the doubleheader, split the series, leaves it up to Game 3 to decide the winner. And it was close until it wasn't. There was a bit of drama to start the game, actually. Christian Moore, he's our star second baseman, leadoff hitter. He hits a slow dribbler to lead off the game, right? Pitcher grabs it, throws it to first, and there ends up being a huge collision between the first baseman and and Christian Moore. Ball pops out. You think safe. But the umpire ends up calling runner interference, and Tony Vitello absolutely goes off on them. And I think he had a pretty good argument as well. To me, it seemed like he was safe, but either way, they end up going to replay, still called the runner out, and I think this lit a fire in Tennessee. It was a slow burning fire anyway, because you'll see what I mean here in a minute. Florida opened up the first inning in the bottom of the first with a 2-run home run, tagged on another in the bottom of the third after a bad throw from third base. It allowed a runner to go all the way from first to home, and it was 3-0. Tennessee answers in the top of the fourth, though. Runners on first and second, 2 outs. Tennessee gets a big-time double to score both runners, making it 3-2 Florida. And then you get the 6th inning, and Tennessee was relentless. They scored 11 runs in the 6th inning, and honestly, a majority of them with 2 outs. I couldn't believe how many runs they scored with 2 outs. And oddly enough, it was actually, I think it was like 7-3 at the time, 2 outs. You had runners on second and third. Batter goes down swinging, and you don't see this very much. You'll see batters go down swinging where the ball hits the dirt and the catcher ends up throwing it to first because the runner has a free shot at first now, or the batter has a free shot at first, I should say. So it was a really bad pitch that he swung on, hits the dirt, gets by the catcher, and so you get the runner making it, taking off for first. Catcher has a bad throw, and so you have these runners that were on second and third, both of them with 2 outs. After the guy goes down swinging, ends up scoring. I thought it was a pretty bizarre play. Wheels really fell off for Florida, and Tennessee's bats got really hot. And like I said, they ended up scoring 11 runs that inning. You get the top of the 7th. Tennessee gets a 2-run home run from who else but Christian Moore once again. And then next batter, who else? It's Burke. Gets a solo shot. And Tennessee ends up closing out Game 3 in just 7 innings, winning it 16-3, and another series win for this team. It was really impressive. So now let's talk about this new poll that got dropped. We have a new number 1 with a little bit of shuffling at the top of this list, right? So at number 5, you get Arkansas at 40-9. Number 4 is Kentucky at 35-10. Number 3, Texas A&M at 40-8. Number 2, Clemson with a record of 36-10. And that leaves who else but the Tennessee Volunteers at number 1 with a 39-9 record. They jump from number 3 to number 1 and take the top spot in this week's chart. They are really fun to watch. And honestly, if you're a fan of Tennessee sports, you need to be following this baseball team. If you're just a fan of baseball, you need to be following this baseball team. They have an impressive they have such impressive offensive numbers, a lot of production, tons of home runs, and honestly, pitching has really come along as of late. And so this team is so much fun to watch. You need to be checking this team out. The next game is actually today, May 7th. It's going to be at home. It'll be played at 6 p.m. against Queens on the SEC Network Plus. Then they're going to be traveling to Nashville to play Vanderbilt. This weekend, it's going to be quite the showdown. There's only a couple of SEC series left. And game 1 is going to be on Friday, May 10th at 7 p.m. on the SEC Network Plus. Game 2 is going to be Saturday, May 11th, 3 p.m. on the SEC Network. That one's going to be televised. And then they're going to close out the series with Game 3 on Sunday, May 12th, also at 3 p.m. That one's going to be on ESPN2. So be sure to check those games out. Like I said, if you're not watching this team, you need to be. They are very fun to watch. That's all I got for this one. Just wanted to do a baseball update. This team is rocking and rolling. Thank you all so much for subscribing to the channel, watching these videos. It really means a lot to me. If you don't mind, drop a comment down below. Were you able to check out the games from this past weekend? What are your thoughts on the team? Tell me how you feel about Tony Vitello and the job he's doing right now with this team. If you don't mind, hit the like button for me. That always helps. And then, as always, please hit that subscribe button. We are over, as of recording this video, I'm over 600 subscribers, which is so awesome. Like I said, I appreciate every single one of you. Please hit that subscribe button for me if you haven't. Help me continue to grow this channel. Thank you so much. Go Vols. We'll see you next time.